Hello and happy Friday to all of you out there, wherever you are and whenever you might be watching. Tonight's WKMC TV matchup is a Pennsylvania Heartland Athletic Conference Division III contest sponsored by Tower Pizza, featuring the Milton Black Panthers and the Mount Carmel area Red Tornadoes. My name is Jim Lesko. Alongside me is my brother Dan. Jose Gonzalez supports us from the sideline. Together we're coming to you live from the Jazz Dividend Field at the Silverbowl in beautiful Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania, on yet another terrific football Friday, Dan.
Yeah, it is. It's another beautiful night here.
And we've got kind of an interesting matchup here because you've got two squads, one wearing red, one wearing white tonight. Not totally uncommon, right, here at the Silverbowl.
Yeah.
But two teams, 6 wins, no losses among them. So both teams, want to continue kind of streaks of their own. The Red Tornadoes, 3-0 on the season. Again, coming off a big win last week against Warrior Run. Followed, and that kind of continues a streak now, or they'll hope to continue a streak here, Dan.
Yeah.
Where Red Tornadoes have played, they've faced off against Milton since 1908. Again, this is courtesy of our friend Jose. That was the first time these two teams met up. They haven't met up since 2017, but the Red Tornadoes come in tonight with a perfect 12-0 mark against the Black Panthers. So 3-0 in the season, 12-0 since 1908. Obviously not playing every year.
Right. Yeah, obviously
not. Some gap years.
Yeah.
But Dan, so if you're the Red Tornadoes and you want to kind of keep that going, what do you see for them in terms of your keys to the game?
Well, yeah, that takes me right into the keys for the game for the Big Reds. So starting with Mount Carmel, your first one's solve for X. X being Xavier Minium, the do-it-all receiver, running back, punter, quarterback at times, player for the Black Panthers. You got to find a way to stop him. He can be effective in so many different ways, so you have to find a way to kind of neutralize him if you're the Red Tornadoes. You want to stay balanced offensively, which they've been doing a wonderful job of through the first 3 weeks. Spears has been out of this world good throwing the football, and that run game is just picking up right where it left off last year. And you want to prevent the big play. You know what I mean? You're coming into this game, you're on your home field. You don't want to give up that big play and kind of take the air out of the home crowd here.
Yeah, you talked about Minium for the Panthers. And again, you called out kind of some of what he's done, Dan. He's 25 carries for 224 yards and 3 scores. He's got 4 receptions. 4 receptions for 78 yards and a score. And as you pointed out to me, he threw one last week too. 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago against Towanda, he was the Wildcat quarterback, and a lot of the times he kind of plays it like a Julian Stellar. The way Stellar did against Southern last year in the district championship game. Everybody thought when Stellar went in there at the kind of the Wildcat back there that it was always going to be a run play, a little run fake, and a pass for a huge touchdown last year. Minium did the exact same thing last week against Towanda, which kind of got their scoring, got them the lead, and they kept that lead until the game was over.
And so, again, speaking of the Panthers and kind of how they've been successful, what do you think they need to do to be successful tonight against the Red Tornadoes?
Yeah, and that takes me to Milton's keys for the game. First one is X go and give it to you. A little shout out to DMX there. Again, Xavier Minium, he's going to have to do what he does best, and he's going to have to go out there and play big and be the superstar that he has the ability to be. You want to start fast. A little bit of a drive here from Milton to Mount Carmel, and they've gotten off to slow starts in their first few games. They were scoreless with Midwest in the first quarter. They were losing 7-0 at halftime against Towanda, so they want to start fast, and they want to play clean. Turnovers, anything like that is going to spell trouble against this Red Tornado defense, giving that offense any sort of a short field or momentum.
You saw there the Red Tornadoes won the toss, and they deferred their choice to the second half. Milton will take the football first, so we'll get to see Minium and company and how they fare off against a stout Red Tornado defense. A stout Red Tornado defense that is still very stout, but certainly missing a major piece tonight.
Yeah.
As you won't, for those of you that have been tracking the team, you won't see number 75, Matt Kelly. He'll be out tonight, but he will be replaced on the offensive line by the usual tight end.
Yes.
In Matt Chicatano. So he'll be wearing jersey number 66 throughout the night. So if you get a little bit confused, don't worry. I'm sure we will too. But we'll keep an eye on that as the night goes on.
Yeah, you might get a little bit confused, but you'll get used to saying number 66 in Chicatano because that's a staple for the Chicatano family coming up through here. I played with Matt's brother Mikey, and he was number 66. He's a big staple of the offensive line on the 2011-12 teams. So you'll get used to saying 66 in Chicatano. That won't take long to get used to that.
So as Milton comes out for the opening return here, it looks like it's going to be Rarick, number 4, and Minium back deep for the Black Panthers. For the Red Tornadoes, Jagodzinski kicking off. Jagodzinski had 4 touchbacks last week at Warrior Run.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive.
He's certainly grown into that role very quickly.
Yeah. Start calling him the leg.
Well, the leg, a little bit of a low line drive knuckler. Minium will take it at the 4. Good coverage there by the Red Tornadoes, who drop Minium at about the 25-yard line. A whole host of them. My goodness. Reed in there. Belichick. That's Chase Belichick, number 1. Oh, and you can't have one Belichick without 2 Belichicks. So number 2, Matthew Belichick in there as well.
And Jim, the one that didn't get up off that pile was the one that initially stuffed Minium and kind of stopped him up there was Al Bailey. He was the first man on the scene there, made first contact with Minium, and they did a really good job of rallying to the ball. And they're going to have to do that with this guy. He's very good at making the first guy miss. You don't want only one guy on him. You want to have 3 or 4 guys at the ball anytime number 3 has it.
So you see that Red Tornado defense on the defensive line. That's going to be Nestico 71, Geary 58, and again Chicatano in at 66. It looks like Schultz and Bailey on the defensive ends to go along with Reed and Jagodzinski on the linebacker slot. This will be Bastian. He'll keep it himself. Nowhere to go on that one.
Yeah, it looks like Reed and Bailey in on that one. Maddox Reed from his linebacker spot. Al Bailey doing a good job at that defensive end spot, not getting pushed out of there and stepping down and making a tackle.
Talked about the front 7 there for the Red Tornadoes. That defensive backfield, you've got Spears and Diaz at the corners, and Fernato and Verano back deep.
Yeah, those safeties that play like linebackers most of the time.
Bastian in the shotgun. He's going to look to throw. And he's going to go and let it loose. And he's looking for Rarick. And it's a great adjustment by Rarick. So he's down inside the 10. All the way down to the 5-yard line. So, Dan, you talked about big plays and starting fast. And my goodness, you can't start much faster than that.
Yeah, that's exactly what the doctor ordered for the Panthers. And you're right, a tremendous adjustment. The throw was offline. The coverage was great by the Red Tornadoes in the defensive backfield. But Rarick made an amazing adjustment and pulled that one down. It took a touchdown-saving tackle by Fernato, who kind of reached out and slowed Rarick down initially and then was able to get on his back and make that stop. So now the Red Tornadoes are going to be looking for a goal line stand here to turn the Panthers away.
It's about a 66-yard completion unofficially. Bastian, now this is Minium off the right side. He makes one man miss. He's down near the goal line. He is in.
But there's a flag.
Yeah, the far official maybe wasn't in the best place to call the touchdown because he was standing where he threw the flag.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a hold. Yeah. That was right at the snap. It could have been a legal formation as well.
That's what we'll get, Dan.
Procedure penalty there. So we'll see. That's unfortunate there for the Black Panthers. That was a tough run there by Minium. Fought off a couple arm tackles and worked his way in. But now they're going to have a little bit more work to do here.
So that'll take the ball back to the 12. Crawl comes in motion. And now they're going to run the option with Bastian. He keeps it himself and goes up the middle. But a good job there by the Red Tornadoes. See Geary, Nestico. Reed usual suspects in there, Dan.
Yeah, Jim, that was read very well, too, by the Red Tornado defense. Bastion it looked like Bastion made his decision there a little bit prematurely to tuck that and take it. I think if he would have tried to take that a little bit further to the outside and got the pitch out on the speed option to Minium, he might have had some space on the outside.
Now we'll get a timeout by Coach Phil Davis. Didn't like what he saw there, but I think you give Coach Davis credit, kind of recognizing that this is a big play, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to get in a third down situation where you're behind the sticks, a 3rd and long, especially this close to points. You don't want to give up those points. You don't want to take a sack. And you really, if you're Bastion, and you want to make sure you have your best play drawn up, or two. You send one into the huddle and you say, this is what we're going to go with on 3rd down, depending on where we get.
Now in the run game thus far, we've only seen Bastion and Minium on the play they got called back, but Minium, the leading rusher, Bastion number 2, but not far behind him are 2 others. Monty Fisher, he's number 25. Monty Fisher's 32, and then 25, Mason Rowe, who looks to be in the backfield with Bastion at this point. It'll be Bastion again. And a good read there by the Red Tornadoes will bring up 3rd and goal from the 5 for the Black Panthers on their opening drive of the night.
Yeah, Bastion, that was a tough run there by Bastion. It looked like that Red Tornado defensive line got a little bit pushed back, a little rooted out there, because it didn't look like Bastion had much, and it still turned into a 5-yard gain. So this is where you're going to see, in this sort of situation, I think you're going to see some firing linebackers. You're going to want to send some pressure here up the middle, but make sure your corners and your defensive ends stay home.
Bastion, quarterback draw. The Red Tornadoes do a good job staying home, and it's in. Okay. Touchdown, Panthers, 5 yards. Quarterback Cole Bastion.
Yeah, Bastion wasn't able to get to the outside, but he found his way through the middle, picking his way through, and did a really nice job of getting in there for 6 points. And that's big for the Black Panthers here to get a quick 6.
And there is a Red Tornado down at the moment.
Yeah, Joe, I believe that's Kellen Geary, number 58.
Geary, one of those many studs on the both offensive and defensive line that the Red Tornadoes rely on to kind of set the pace and help carry them up and down the field. So it is good to see Geary up and jogging off the field so quickly.
Yeah, you see, it looks like the Red Tornado coaching staff did a good job there, taking that opportunity, making sure Geary was okay, and then having a little conversation with his defense. That this is not our brand of football that we're playing right now. So we need to wake up. They already got their points. Let's get the offense going, and let's not let this happen again.
Number 2, Trace Witter will kick the extra points tonight for the Black Panthers. And it's a fake. Bastion rolled out, but there was nobody there. He tried to go back to Rarick, incomplete. So a big stop there for the Red Tornadoes special teams defense. That'll keep the score 6-0 with 9:07 left in the first quarter.
Yeah, Jim, I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't like that play call. Because it wasn't a bad snap. The snap was on point. That looked like it was a designed rollout play there. And I don't like it. You have all the momentum. Bring your kicker on. Turn that 6 into 7. And keep that momentum. Now, the Red Tornadoes have that great defensive play where they, special teams play, where they make the stop. And now you're going to get the ball back. And a little bit of that momentum that the Black Panthers had now swaying towards the Red Tornado side.
Well, it's interesting because, wherever you're watching this, go back and kind of watch the replay and see if you can see something that maybe Dan and I didn't see. But to your point, Bastion certainly looked like it was designed, right?
Yeah,
he took that and he rolled out.
As soon as he caught it, he was up.
But he didn't have anybody in a pattern.
No.
Rarick snuck out towards the end after Bastion had already kind of run out of real estate and had to start retreating.
It initially looked like, at least from my angle, that Bastion was looking backside for a tight end going to the far corner is what I'm thinking he was hoping for, and there was nobody there. Whether the Red Tornadoes did a good job of holding the tight end up or there was a miscommunication, I'm not entirely sure.
Witter will kick off as well. He'll be kicking off to Verano and Diaz for the Red Tornadoes. And that's going to be popped up to number 1, Chase Belichick, I believe, on the far side. So he'll do a nice job with that return and get the Red Tornadoes out to the 34-yard line. So that's where they'll start their initial offensive sequence of the evening.
Yeah, and this is decent starting field position for the Red Tornadoes. And I'm interested to see the last few games, last few weeks, they've started wide open. So we'll see what Coach Dara decides to do here. It looks like the old bread and butter shotgun double wing, though.
Going to have Schultz at one tight end. Bradley will be at the other. He'll take the tight end position that Chickatano usually occupies. Otherwise, it's business as usual for the Red Tornadoes. It looks like Shimko, Geary, Langton, Nestico, and Chickatano. And the Red Tornadoes will pick up a quick 5 there on a hard count.
Still undefeated with those, Jim.
And that one, the official was a little faster than I was. I was going off the call already.
Okay, yeah, well, that one was pretty obvious too. A little antsy there on the Black Panther side of the ball, and I mean, with that formidable offensive front, it's understandable.
So Spears will be in the shotgun. That's Diaz to his left, Widener and Farinato in the wing to the right, and it's Widener right up the middle, and he's still on his feet all the way into Black Panther territory. They'll mark him down at the 45-yard line for a pickup of 16.
And that's a great job there by Widener, just staying square and continuing to push the pile. That, as he went, so did the rest of the offensive and defensive line, and he turned that into a huge gain.
Right, Tornadoes got a little motion again. Diaz has some trouble with the pitch, but he does a nice job. He's inside and he's outside, and now he's down the sideline. There's no flags on the field, and Xavier Diaz, good from 45 yards out. That's a beautiful drive of 2 plays, 76 yards in about 30 seconds, Dan.
And Jim, there is the answer. That is exactly what the Red Tornadoes were hoping to do after the defense comes out, gives up the big play, which turns into points for the Black Panthers. The Red Tornado offense comes out, 2 plays, aided by a 5-yard offside penalty to start the drive off, and you're in position to take the lead now, and that's another reason why I don't like the decision to go for 2.
66 yards. My goodness, that was fast. Jagodinski's kick is low and no good. So the decision by the Panthers on the previous drive will maybe not hurt them as much as it could have.
And here's the way I look at it. It doesn't give up the lead with the missed extra point, but you don't have the lead anymore either. So you could look at it one way or the other, but either way, 7 is more than 6 when it comes down to it at the end of the game. So this is but that's a huge momentum swing there for the Big Red, and you feel the energy starting to go. And Jim, that was the first time, I think, all year so far, it's week 4 already, that we finally got to see Diaz get into some open field and really show off that impressive speed. And as soon as he got the edge, Jim, you could just see it. He was gone.
Yeah, coming into tonight, Diaz had 19 carries for 147 yards. So that's a little over 7 yards a carry on the season. And I think we've referenced it a few times. He averaged 17 and a half yards a carry last year.
Yeah.
So it's certainly been a little bit different again. Coach Dara's talked about it, the way he's distributing carries, the way he's keeping guys fresh and healthy. Right. Jagodinski's kick is not going to get to Minium this time. That'll be Montgomery, who takes a big stick from the Belichick or Farinato.
It could have been Belichick, Farinato, or Ben Miller, I think that was. All 3 of them came off the sideline over there. So that was a really good job in the kick coverage there.
And for what it's worth, none of those 3 names would have surprised me.
No, not a one. But we'll see now that defensive backfield, and this may be just because it's pre-snap and the Black Panthers haven't even taken the field yet, but you see Farinato and Verano a little bit deeper than they normally are in that secondary. So maybe giving them giving the Black Panthers receivers a little bit of credit. And now, just to prove me wrong, they're going to move up here.
Step right up.
Yep.
Bastion to throw again. And it's a good ball, but good coverage by Farinato getting there just as the ball does and puts a hit on the Panthers' #1 receiver, Reef.
Yeah, and that was you're right, that was a really well-placed pass. Reef had to go up a little bit forward. It didn't hit him right in the numbers, but all in all, rolling to your left-hand side for a right-handed quarterback, that's as pretty of a ball as you can throw. But Farinato got there just in time to separate that ball from Reef.
Bastion had a kind of a cool arm angle on that, too. It was a little three-quarter arm to get it over the defense. They're going to throw again. This is back to Reef. It's a rocket screen. And he does a nice job. He'll be ridden out of bounds by Spears, but he's going to get close to the first down. It's like they are going to move the sticks. 1st and 10, Panthers. Nope, wait. Now they're moving back.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 2nd and very short.
Nope, now it's 1st down again.
Well, sometimes the chain gang's a little quick. Sometimes the referees are a little slow. And
nope, now it's not. First.
Is it going to be 3rd and short, or is it going to be 1st and 10 here?
Well, I trust the gentleman with the white hat. He told us it was a 1st down.
Yes, he did. And I think that's the question that Coach Fisher's asking over here, or Coach Davis.
And now, we didn't get a measurement?
This is the first one all year, I think, Joe.
Oh, my goodness.
We had to wait until, I think it was week 10 last year when we got our first measurement. So this is, and I think at this point, I think what it comes down to is if everybody's not in agreement.
Sure.
Yeah, normally it's like, okay, it's close enough, it's a 1st down, and everybody says, yep, 1st down, then we're good to go. But now there's a little bit of discussion. One side says it's short, the other side says it's there. Let's check it out and make sure.
Third down.
3rd down by an eyelash.
Yeah, it looks like about 2 inches based on what he has. So, and you know, these crews, these official crews, they work together. They have good relationships. If you said it was 3rd down, you got to be feeling pretty good about that. He said, I was right.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yep.
He was able to eyeball it from 30 yards away.
Right.
It's pretty good.
53 and a half to be exact.
All right, so now it's 3rd and an inch. Bastion's going to go under center. He'll keep it himself. And he's still on his feet. He almost skirted out of there. So a good effort by Bastion. He'll get all the way out to about the 47-yard line.
Yeah, the quarterback sneak, hoping to get just enough for the 1st down, turns into like a 7-yard gain there. So that's a nice little change there for the Black Panthers.
We talk a little bit about the Red Tornado interior line. We got to recognize the Black Panthers too, and that you've got Paul Rowland, number 70, Ethan Minium, 59, Ethan Fisher, the center, at 56, Gary Verdinelli, 63, and Hunter Zettelmoyer, 68, who are certainly doing a nice job early on tonight. And Bastion keeps it himself, and he's in the open field. Spears does a good job making a tackle while being blocked. But that's a great read option there by Bastion.
That was amazing. I mean, it caught everybody by surprise. And realistically, I mean, Spears doing a really good job being there, being Johnny on the spot to stop that play from turning into more. But realistically, Spears was getting blocked that way. So if Spears weren't getting blocked that way, he might have had a free ride to the end zone there.
Gain of about 26 for Bastion on that one. Now Minium comes in motion. They'll give it to him. Great job by Belichick, staying home and drags him down despite the stiff arm. Huge play by number 2, Matt Belichick.
Yeah, the guy that is in there filling a spot makes the biggest play defensively so far this game, and turns this into a 2nd and long for the Black Panthers. And I think it puts them in another passing position here. So that was a huge play by Belichick, doing a great job out there. And this Red Tornado defense, they needed that. I think they needed a play like that, a negative play for the Black Panthers, something that they could say that's their spark. Now the game's starting. Let's play some football.
Still not yet at the halfway point of the quarter here. Bastion under pressure, rolls out, and it's intercepted by Reed. What a great play by number 3, Maddox Reed. And it'll be Red Tornadoes 1st and 10. We'll see exactly where they're going to spot this ball. It's around the 35. It's just going to matter where he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah.
They're going to say right at the 35, it looks like. Oh, no, excuse me, the 33.
And Jim, credit to Al Bailey on that one, coming from the defensive end spot. He was the one that applied the pressure on Bastion, made Bastion kind of hesitate on that throw. And I think Bastion was trying to get over that second level, over the linebackers to a receiver in the secondary. But the hesitation, he kind of held up on it, threw it right into Reed's hands.
So that Red Tornado defense comes up big there. And again, we've got a little confusion here, but there's some changes on that offensive line. And this is going to be Spearsy, hands off to Verano, who's going to do a nice job shucking off the initial tackler, but he will be dropped in the backfield for a loss of about a yard.
Yeah, that's a tough one there. There was a lot of white jerseys over there for Verano. You're right, he did a good job because he took that ball deep in the backfield. He did a good job sifting his way through, but wasn't able to get back to the line of scrimmage.
So 2nd and 11. Spears, this is Diaz, and Diaz jump cuts through and he'll be dragged down by number 31, Connor Snyder, but isn't Diaz always just one more shoulder shake or jump cut from being gone?
It's electric every time he touches the ball, Jim, and that I say that word a lot with this offense because there are so many electrifying players out there that can make big plays, but when Diaz touches the football, you're right, he's one move away from taking it to the house.
So now the Red Tornadoes Bradley, the tight end, will come to the sideline in favor of another receiver. So it'll be Schultz and Verano split out right. They'll send Diaz in motion. They're going to throw a swing pass to him. And he does a nice job making Minium miss, but Minium was even better at staying home until the cavalry could come. So not much to gain. It's going to be 4th and about 3.
Yeah, Jim, Minium did a really good job of kind of just pressing his blocker and staying steady right where he was at. So he didn't give Diaz a one-way go. He kind of Diaz had to make the decision. Do I want to go inside? Do I want to go outside? And
Coach Dara has made a decision here, Dan. It's 4th and 3 from his own 41-yard line. Jagodinsky, the punter, is nowhere to be found. It's Spears and Blessing in the backfield. Widener and Fernando.
Let's do it.
Spears tries to get the hard count first, but it's going to be Blessing, and he's going to be stopped. What a great push by that Milton Panther defense. So the Red Tornadoes take a chance. It doesn't work out, and it's going to be 1st and 10 Panthers at the 41-yard line after a turnover on downs. We're here with 4:36 left in the first quarter of a 6-6 ball game.
And Jim, that's a huge, huge play for the Black Panthers, but that shows the faith that Coach Dara has in his defense to go out there and get the stop. Now that you're putting them in their backs are up against the wall here defensively, but you tried to go for that hard count, you didn't get it. A lot of times that's where coach will take a timeout and they'll send out the punt team, but not Coach Dara. He's got a lot of faith in that offense and the defense. The Black Panthers make a stand, so now he's relying on his defense to help him out here and get that ball back.
Bastion's got Reef to the top of the screen, Minium to the bottom. Bastion's going to run. He's going to get hit first, it looks like, by Belichick. He'll be finished off by Jagodinsky. but it's all for naught, as there was an illegal procedure penalty against the Panthers, stopping that one really before it got started.
Yeah, Joe, I wasn't entirely sure of who the call was on there, but it looks like they're keeping an eye on that motion guy. Anytime they send the motion guy for those lead plays, looks like they're keeping an eye on him and trying to make sure that he doesn't get upfield before the snap. And I think that may have been where the penalty came from.
It's a really astute observation.
That's a... Everybody at home, get your dictionaries out. Let me know what astute means.
You've been paying attention. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's 1st and 15 at the 46. This time they'll send Reef and Minium to the wide side of the field. Bastion takes the snap. Once again, the read option, he keeps it. And he'll get across the 40 down to the 39 before he's tackled by 77 Noah Shimko.
Yeah, and Jim, it's tough. It's tough to defend that, the way that the Red Tornadoes are playing defense here, because anytime they send two receivers, they're flexing the defensive end or the outside linebacker about halfway between the receiver and the offensive tackle. So when Bastion decides to pull that down and keep it, he's got a little bit of room before Schultz can get down there and make a stop.
And here it is on the other side, Dan. And that's what it's going to be again. Now that time they went away from the Twins with not as much success down to forward progress. Will get them down, it looks like, the 36. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 6. Excuse me, 3rd and 5.
Yeah, so now we're looking for, you got two big plays here for the Red Tornadoes, because I'm not thinking that we're going to see Minium punt from from the 37-yard line, 36-yard line. So I think this is going to be two plays here. The Red Tornadoes got to stop the Black Panthers from getting 5 yards.
They spread the Tornadoes way out. Bastion's going to throw, though. He's under pressure immediately. Reed's got an angle. Yagodinski's coming in, and Bastion makes a smart football move and just throws that one away. Lives to play another down.
That's a really good decision by Bastion, Jim. And I've watching the film this week of Milton. It was mostly the Towanda game that I watched. That was their toughest game that they played. I saw Bastion do that 2 or 3 times against Towanda, where he was getting run to the sideline, couldn't find anybody open, and he made the right decision. Instead of taking the sack and losing the yards, live to play another down and throwing that ball away.
So the Black Panther defense came up big on 4th and short, stopping the Red Tornadoes to start this drive. Now it's the Red Tornadoes' turn to try to come back, and Bastion's going to throw, and he's got number 34. That's Luke Goodwin for a 1st down. Big play on 4th and 5.
Yeah, and they kind of sent a flood over to that left side, the wide side of the field. Flooded that side of the field with receivers, and Bastion did a good job just going through his progression, getting the check down. You call it the check down because it's the short guy, but normally that's the first guy you're looking at, especially when you only need short yardage. And he saw Goodwin get out in the open and checked it down to him and got the 1st down.
Whether it was by design or not, they also kind of quick broke out of the huddle, got up to the line, and snapped the ball right away.
Well, they were about to get a delay of game penalty.
Time it's Rowe up across the 25. See where they mark it. Gain of about 7, be 2nd and 3.
And again, that was a nice little run there by Rowe. So the Black Panthers not getting the big play that they had on their first drive, but putting together a sustained drive here. A few minutes in now since the turnover. And they're continuing to move the ball.
There's 3 receivers to the right for Bastion. He's going to hand it to Rowe off the left side, and he's going to get down the sideline. He dives for the end zone. He's in. They confirm he never stepped out of bounds. So from 23 yards out, Mason Rowe makes it 12-6 Black Panthers.
And Jim, thinking about this game, this is the Black Panthers offense is pretty much their run game, at least, has been based off of misdirection. You never know who's got the ball, where the ball's going. There's a lot of read options, a lot of zone reads, stuff like that, and that's kind of the way the Red Tornadoes offense runs. There's a lot of misdirection, a lot of trapping, a lot of pulling guys. So the Black Panthers have found a recipe here to score points.
Ritter's kick is up and good. So with 1:44 left in the first quarter, yes, that's right, I said the first quarter. We're still not out of the first quarter. It's 13-6 Black Panthers.
Yeah, and you're right. And I mentioned the Black Panthers wanting to get a fast start after having some scoreless quarters and halves in their first 3 games. They've already got 13 points up on the board pretty quick.
Yeah, and the Red Tornadoes need to be careful here as well, because I don't know that we talked about it in the opening on air. I know we were talking about it before we got started here.
Yeah.
So the Red Tornadoes have 6 points tonight, right? Been 7, missed an extra point, what have you.
Yeah.
The Black Panthers only gave up 7 points in the first 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah, yeah.
They got 2 shutouts and the 21-7 win over Towanda.
Yeah, that's true. This Black Panther defense is no slouch to go along with the with the offense that has been very potent. I mean, and we haven't even seen a really big play yet from the X Factor, Xavier Minion.
Ritter, as we said before, will be kicking off to Diaz and Verano. Looks like Farinado standing at the 20. He's kind of the middleman there. And is it me, Dan, or is that second line up a little closer?
Yeah, they're definitely up a little closer.
And here comes Verano. He's going to take that on a sprint. And he slips up. Had a little bit of space there, but nevertheless a good return and good starting field position for the Red Tornadoes. It'll be at the 35.
Yeah, that was a really good job there, getting Verano some space. You're right, just hit an oil slick spot there and lost his footing. But the Red Tornadoes have been getting decent starting field position right around the 35 after both of the kickoffs that they've received. So I think they're hoping for just another quick 6 points here.
So they'll stay a little more open than they've been. Spears is going to throw to Verano on a quick screen. But great play by 34. Luke Goodwin coming all the way down the line to kind of bottle up Verano.
And Jim, I know they want to get these guys, these skill guys, they want to get the ball in space, but that's a long throw for Spears. Yeah. Throwing to the wide guy on the wide side of the field. It takes a little bit for that ball to get there, which gives the Black Panthers enough time to kind of get their progress moving in that direction and get there.
Spears rolls to his left. He's going to throw, and he's got Verano. Oh, just a little too much juice on that. Verano had a textbook out and up that got behind the defense, and Spears rolling to his left, throwing that ball. That was a lot of zip on that.
It was a beautiful ball, and Spears has the arm. There's no doubt about that. We've seen that throughout the season so far, but that time just a little bit too much. So this turned into a big third down here for the Red Tornadoes early on in the game.
3rd and 9. Again, the ball sits at about the 37-yard line. And to your point, Dan, Red Tornadoes certainly not interested in giving the ball back to the Panthers just yet. They've got a screen set up to Blessing, and he's got some red jerseys in front of him. He's going to lower the shoulder to pick up the first down. So the only man between Blessing and the sticks was number 33, Dominic Lytle. And we'll add a roughing the passer to that.
That's huge. That is huge for the Big Red there. And Jim, take away the 15 yards. The Red Tornadoes got the first down either way. And you're right that Coach Veach is probably in his glory down there on the sideline, watching Blessing fight his way and keep his legs driving as he was going down to get forward just enough for that first down.
So when they add on the 15 yards for the roughing the passer, the ball get all the way down to the 39. So from the 37 to the 39. Nice 24-yard gain there for the Red Tornadoes.
Jim, that was good all around, too, because I think that ball, I think that one of the Black Panther defenders might have got a finger on that one, too.
There's Blessing. And now the Panthers kind of gang tackle there. There was a lot more white jerseys than there were red around the football. So credit to Blessing to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and it looks to me, Jim, like there's just nothing there up the middle for the Red Tornadoes at this point in the game, which is something that we're not very used to seeing. Usually they kind of have their way running the ball anywhere on the field.
So that's how the first quarter is going to end here at the Silverbowl. It's 13-6, Black Panthers over the Red Tornadoes.
And Jim, I have to be honest with you, I was not anticipating saying that at the end of the first quarter.
No, definitely not how I think I anticipated the first quarter going. Again, we talked about it. Black Panthers coming in 3-0.
Yep.
Certainly a team full of athletes. The fact that it's a contest, I think, is no surprise here.
Yeah.
It's more so to your point, Dan, where you were saying where the Black Panthers seem to be exerting some force, which is right at the middle.
Yeah.
Which is not what usually happens to the Red Tornadoes.
No, it's not. But I'm hoping that the Red Tornado offense gaining a little bit of momentum here, a little bit of speed. They want to keep driving down here into and I see that they're going back to the bread and butter, and I think this is a good idea for the Big Red. Tightening things back up, getting back to what you know best.
And it's going to go to Widener right up the middle. Does a nice job getting down to about the 35-yard line, just outside the 35, excuse me.
Yeah, it's a good job there by Widener fighting forward and pulling a couple Black Panther defenders with him. But again, this is putting the Red Tornadoes in, a less than, not exactly where you want to be. Third and more than 5 is not where you want to be sitting.
It's going to be Farinato, and he's running very angrily to get across the 30, so that should be enough for a first down.
We're very close. Let's see where they mark him.
Oof. Just shy it's going to be. Confident enough that we don't need a measurement on this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But nevertheless, a nice tough run by Farinato.
Yeah, it looked like all the officials agreed on that one, just a little bit short. But you're right, Farinato. These Red Tornadoes, they don't like being in these close games. Yeah, so I could see the little bit of aggression coming from all sides here.
Spears keeping himself. Will have the first down, and he's still on his feet. Tough run out of the quarterback position. Get down to the 21-yard line for a big first down.
But we do have a flag.
How'd that flag get all the way over there?
I'm assuming that's
gotta
a
be
procedure penalty.
Because it looks like he just dropped it, right?
Or somebody lined up in the neutral zone on the Black Panthers.
I see hands on hips. I'm hoping that's good news for the Red Tornadoes. It's an illegal shift against the Red Tornadoes.
Which is, again, is a little bit interesting here because this is the Red Tornadoes' bread and butter offense. I mean, they run this, they can run these plays in their sleep. And that turned into, I was going to say, it looked like it turned into like a 7-yard penalty there.
Well, it was fourth and about half a yard maybe.
Now it's 4th and 6.
And they'll send Diaz. They're going to try to sweep it to him. And he's going to get the edge, and now Diaz has some space. He's got one guy to beat. Oh, Kral does a good job of staying on his feet and dragging Diaz out of bounds, but the important thing is the Red Tornado offensive drive will continue.
That was a really good job by Kral there, because when you see Diaz kind of slow motion setting up that hesitation move,
right,
sometimes you think that there's going to be a defender with his shoes in a different place than the rest of his body sometimes, but he did a really good job of staying with him. But again, huge play by Diaz, continuing that drive and making a big play. So
it's 1st and goal from the 9 now for the Red Tornadoes. It's Diaz again up the middle, and he takes a big shot from number 51, Nolan Loss. So nice play there made by Loss.
Yeah, that was a big play there by Loss. He kind of, knifed through there and got in quick, Jim. It looked like Diaz didn't even have a chance to do any of his jump cuts or anything like that. As soon as he tried to gain some traction and get upfield, he ran right into Loss.
Well, it looked like 33 Lytle was coming in, and Diaz made him miss just right into the open arms of Loss.
Yeah.
It's going to be Widener down to the 5. So give him 3 yards, and now, Dan, we're in this familiar position you were talking about before, where you got 2 plays to pick up 5 yards.
Yeah, and I mean, realistically, this is the best position to be in. I mean, even if you do not, somehow the Panthers stand up and make a huge defensive stand here, and you don't get points out of this if you're the Red Tornadoes, the Panthers still have 95-plus yards to go if they want to put another score on the board. So realistically, you're not worried about taking some chances here.
And it's Spears. He's not going to get in. It'll be 4th and goal. Looks like, what does that look like to you, Dan? About the 2?
Yeah, I think that's the 2-yard line. Yeah, Jim, the Red Tornadoes not having the success that they're used to having in the run game. This Black Panthers defense, they're big up front, and they're playing tough in the middle.
So this is as big of a play as you're going to get,
I think
at least in the second quarter here.
I think you need to get Diaz on the edge here.
There he goes, and they pitch it to him, Dan. You're right. But he stopped. He stopped. 31. That's Connor Snyder in there.
The pursuit by the Black Panther defense there was nothing short of spectacular. That was very impressive, the way that they flowed to the ball, to the outside. I mean, everybody was jammed in tight. You thought you get Diaz out in space, he's going to have room to get to the corner, and he couldn't do it.
And Diaz is still down on the play. So they'll tend to him. But yeah, Dan, the Black Panthers, they seem just very well prepared. Give Coach Davis and his staff a lot of credit.
Yeah, the Red Tornadoes actually ended up taking a loss on that. So the Black Panthers are going to start with the ball at their own 4 rather than their own 2. So they're starting off in better position than they initially would have been if he got back to the line of scrimmage.
Got Diaz up, making his way off the field, which is always good. Happy to see. But yeah, now, Dan, and you have this, always in this dangerous spot, right, where as a defense, you love when the opposing offense is a shadow of their own goalpost. Right?
Yeah.
You have this opportunity, you can get after them. There's also a lot of green behind you.
That is very true.
That's the other side of it. That's always a little bit scary.
Yeah, you want to have your front seven applying the pressure with your 4 defensive backs playing as safety valves. You know what I mean? And they're going wide open here, Jim.
And again, Dan, I think this is what you've been pointing out. Milton likes what they have up the middle. So they spread the Red Tornadoes out. They're going to go with a hard count to try to get a couple yards there. And that's row, I believe. Not going to get anything. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Jim, let me just point out here, since that one was kind of run into the back of the offensive line there, the athleticism of Maddox Reed pulling a Troy Polamalu move and going over top of the offensive line to try and stop Rowe in the backfield. He jumped over the defensive and the offensive line to try to make a stop there.
So that'll be a trip of sorts right out of the shotgun for Bastion. We'll see if they go back to the read option. They do, but he gives it to Rowe, and Rowe's going to be out across the 10 to the 11. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 3.
Yeah, this is another huge play here for the Red Tornadoes. And that big to the point where Coach Dara wants to take a timeout and discuss it, and wants to get the right defense set up here to counter whatever the Black Panthers are going to send out there, because this is like you said, Jim, less than halfway through the second quarter, but this is a huge play.
Yeah, 7:13 still left in the first half here. The Milton Black Panthers have come into the Silverbowl and really given the Red Tornadoes all they can handle and more as the Black Panthers lead 13-6 here in this Heartland Athletic Conference Division III matchup.
Yeah, we'll see Coach Dara out of the huddle here, and the Red Tornadoes getting back up here on the defensive side of the ball. We'll see what they've got in store, or what the Black Panthers have in store for this Red Tornado defense, and if the Red Tornadoes have the medicine to counter it.
And they're going to spread out again. You're taking Farinado, Verano, and Schultz essentially out of the play if you want to go up the middle here. And that's where Bastian's going to go. He's going to be hit initially in the backfield. He's not going to get more than a yard on that one, so a great job by the Red Tornado interior defense.
Yeah, that was huge, Jim. I'm not sure who it was that hit him right away, but they almost spun Bastian around. And 4th and short now. It looked like there was a little bit of a conversation, but this is where the Red Tornadoes have to be wary. The guy back there punting the ball is Xavier Minium.
Right.
This is a 4th and short. Now, they're in a very bad position on the field, but he likes to do those rollout kicks, and if he sees green grass, he's going to go.
Verano and Farinado back deep. It's an end-over-end kick, and it's going to bounce right out of bounds at the 41-yard line. So a great job by the Red Tornado defense. They're getting the ball back to the offense, and further efforts, Mount Carmel being a favorable position here as they start a drive just prior to the midway point of the second quarter.
Yeah, this is a big drive for the Red Tornadoes. You want to be able to at least pull this back even, but you also want to take some time off the clock. You don't want to give the Black Panthers too much time to have their offense back out there. So you want to try and tie this up and then take it into the half.
So a little more open here again for the Red Tornadoes. It's Farinado and Verano split out right. Schultz is to the left. Blessing goes in motion, and it's thrown for Farinado, and somehow he came down with the ball. My goodness, a great play by number 4 for a gain of 6.
That's a huge play by Farinado there, because if he hadn't, thrown himself to get that ball, we may have seen Spears' first interception of the season.
And we talk a lot about the confidence Coach Dara has in Spears, and it's well-founded for sure, but I think we mentioned it a little bit last week. Those are complicated plays where he's looking to the swing pass, and then he's got to whip his head back around and find his receiver.
Yeah, for sure. It's not easy.
This time he says, I'll just keep this one myself. He's going to get very close to the first down. We'll see. Looks to me that he has it, but I've been wrong a few times tonight. This isn't one of them, Dan. It's 1st and 10, Mount Carmel.
Yeah, that's a big one there for the Big Red. And again, like I said, Jim, what you want to do, it doesn't look like they're in any rush to get back up on the ball here. They're getting the play from the sideline, taking their time getting up there as the clock ticks closer and closer to the half.
Same look from the Red Tornadoes. Send Blessing out again, and this time they will throw it to him. And he's got good blocking out there from Farinado and Verano. He's going to get down to, it looks like they're going to say the 24, but yet again.
There's a flag. And they threw it back near the line of scrimmage. They threw it late after Blessing was tackled back near the line of scrimmage. That's in the area of holding.
Blocking the back. Well, and that's, I'm kind of with you on that one, Dan, in that because you saw the point of attack there. Verano and Farinado are out there. They're doing a nice job blocking, and there's no flag.
Yeah. And
Blessing went by, and the flag, the flag kind of showed up. So we'd have to go back and look and see maybe exactly where that came from.
Yeah.
But, a well-designed play, but that's a big one. That's going to be a 10-yard penalty all the way back to the 40, so it'll be 1st and 20. Now they send Blessing. That should be a
should have been a free play.
You like a free play, right? That's
Yeah.
what you like there. But you'll take the 5 yards as you can get them. So also to your, Dan, I think going back to your keys and different things you've said throughout the night, you talked about a clean game.
Yeah.
This hasn't necessarily been clean in the first, 17 minutes or 19 minutes.
No, definitely not. But all around, only one actual turnover, a couple turnovers on downs, but only one actual turnover by the Black Panthers, the interception. But otherwise, outside of the penalties, teams have been clean with the ball. Ball security has been pretty good.
Spears is going to throw that rocket out there to Verano, who gets a nice block from Schultz and gets up. They'll say he's out of bounds at the 25. So somehow we're back to a 2nd and 5 now after the first. After what would it was going to be the second and 1 to a 1st and 20 to a 1st and 15. Now we got a 2nd and 5.
Yeah. So all in all, the Red Tornadoes after the 10-yard penalty moving in the right direction. Moving in the right direction. So that's always a plus.
This time it's Blessing. Does a nice job avoiding the first tackler. And then be spun into another. Get down to, looks like they're going to say the 23, which is going to make it 3rd and 2.
Yeah, you're right. He did a really good job making the first 2 guys in the backfield there miss, but there's just not much there up the middle for the Red Tornadoes. I think they're going to have to keep working the edges to find some green grass.
Well, and I think what you saw on the 4th down play, the previous drive, Dan, to your point, is I think the Panthers kind of know that too.
Yeah.
So they're confident in flowing to the outside. And this time Spears will keep it himself. Now he's going to pay for it, but he should have enough for the first.
Yeah, and I think he does.
There we go. Yep, we'll see it. But again, he took a shot here, is dragged backwards.
Yeah. But this Red Tornado team has no shortage of tough guys out there. They can take some beatings and keep coming back after you and coming back even stronger.
And now with a new set of downs, they go back and stay tight. It's the double tight ends. It's Widener, and that's Verano off the right side. And Blessing keeps it himself and just stays up the middle. I'm going to say he got down to about the 14. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Yeah, that's a good job there by Blessing, fighting his way forward. And him and Diaz, we talk about how much different of types of runners that they are, but they're both really good at the initial point of contact. They usually can make that first guy miss. So they do a really good job of continuing to work forward for that.
And now Spears is going to throw, and he's got Schultz. Touchdown, Mount Carmel. What a great ball by Spears, and an even better catch by Schultz. With 3:06 left, it's now 13-12 Black Panthers, thanks to that 14-yard hookup from Spears to Schultz.
Yeah, we saw there was a little discussion there on the sidelines. 1 or 2, and Coach Dara makes the decision to go for 1. All the faith in the world in young Drew Jagosinski to get that extra point up there, bring this game even.
And it is up, and it is no good. We pushed it wide, and so the Red Tornadoes will remain down a point, 13-12 here at home in week 4.
Now we'll see, there's 3 minutes left. We saw the big play capability from the Black Panthers on their first drive with that huge pass early on. So now we will see what they decide to do. Are they going to continue to attack up the middle where they've been having success? Or are they going to look for that big play? Are they going to look to their big play guy, Minium, and try and get him single coverage on the outside and get the ball out to him?
Well, and I think to your point, Dan, this is we got a huge drive here as we work through this. I think that the Red Tornadoes, for all intents and purposes, I think would recognize that they haven't been as sharp as they would have liked to come out tonight.
Right.
So if you can get into the half down a point, knowing you get the ball to start the second half, they'll take that 10 times out of 10, I think, given how the first, what do you want to call it, the first 21 minutes of this half have gone.
Most definitely, Jim. I agree. I think that's exactly what the Red Tornadoes are hoping to do, and that's if I'm Coach Dara, that's what I'm telling the troops when they head out there. Like, listen, we got 3 minutes. Don't let them score.
Against kick is a boot. It'll be Minium at the 5. The Red Tornadoes need to break down and make a good tackle here, and they do. First contact was just waiting for him to get up.
Is that Schultz?
I can see who. Yep, that's who it was, Dan. Good eyes.
Yeah, I saw the red gloves. The red gloves as he was waiting to get helped up there. He did a really good job of making that play and not giving Minium much to work with there.
And it was nice, too, because number 3, Maddox Reed, he came down, and he was really the first guy there, and he blew up the other returner there that was trying to block for Minium.
Yeah.
So it was Schultz and Minium one-on-one, and Schultz did a nice job breaking down and making the tackle.
Most definitely. So now we'll see this a huge defensive stand here. Big defensive set for the Red Tornadoes here in the first half.
Open set again for the Black Panthers. Bastion hands it off to Rowe, and he's dropped in the backfield. I think that's Bailey's first on scene there.
Yes, it was, Jim. Al Bailey, that outside linebacker spot, got upfield and made a really nice play on that in the backfield.
So it's going to bring up second and 14 now. The ball sits at about the 23-yard line, 2:35 and counting left in the first half. And as much as we talked about the Red Tornadoes perhaps being content to be down a point, the Black Panthers may be content to go in up a point and don't seem to be in a whole lot of hurry here either. And that's that's Montgomery that time, who breaks tackles. He's across the 45. They're going to have him down. They're going to put him at the 47-yard line. So a big play there, and just like that, that might change your approach if you're the Black Panthers.
Yeah, Jim, I talked about it before the game about wanting the gang tackle on Minium. Realistically, every back in this Milton backfield is dangerous. You want to have more than one guy on them any chance you get. They're going to run through arm tackles, and they're going to spin out of just the check tackles. You got to wrap up, and you need a team there to do it.
Now 4 wide for Bastion. He's going to go straight back, and he goes across the middle, and he's got that's Minium right on cue, Dan, all the way down to the 34.
Yeah, and that's the guy that Bastion's going to look to on these kind of over the middle routes. Minium's got a little bit of size to him. He can handle running in there with some linebackers and stuff like that. So and we see a full-on change here in the Milton offense. And I think this is more of their pass-heavy set that we're going to see.
It's a 3 wide set to the short side of the field. Bastion gives it to Rowe, but the Red Tornadoes are ready for it that time. It'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. We'll see if Coach Davis uses his timeout yet. He won't.
Yeah, I think that was Chicatano that stopped that one up right away. But you're right, Coach Davis in no rush to get the play call in. I think he doesn't want to give the Red Tornadoes any time to get the ball back. If they're not going to score, then the Red Tornadoes aren't going to touch the ball before the second half starts.
Rowan Montgomery will swap there. Montgomery will be in the backfield. Bastion, the snap goes over his head. Bastion does a good job of getting on it. And now we'll see Coach Davis call his second time out of the half to stop the clock with 27 and a half seconds left in the first half.
Yeah, again, now you're in a 3rd and long situation, and you want to use your timeout. Just had a missed snap. This may, if the Red Tornadoes can get a stop here, and I'm Coach Dara, I'm calling my timeout because I want any opportunity for our defensive backs to I mean, Garrett Verano is tied for the lead in pick sixes in school history. You know, and you've got Verano and Farinato normally back there on the punt return if the Black Panthers decide to punt on a fourth down. From the Red Tornadoes, I want to play this aggressive.
We're going to find out pretty quick here. It's Minium and Reef to the right. Bastion has Montgomery, Fisher to his right. And he gives it to him. Nice play made by Reed. No timeout called by the Red Tornadoes. The Panthers do not have to snap it, but I would be curious to see if they just call a timeout with 4 seconds on the clock or something and say, hey, we think we can throw one towards the end zone here.
But I don't think so.
Nope, so as the clock hits zeros here, at the end of the first half, the score of tonight's Heartland Athletic Conference Division III matchup here at the Silverbowl, it's sponsored by Tower Pizza, is Milton Black Panthers 13, Mount Carmel Area Red Tornadoes 12. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with stats and scores in the second half. Stay with us. Hello and welcome back to the Silverbowl for our tonight's Pennsylvania Heartland Athletic Conference Division III matchup. We got a dogfight here. The visiting Milton Black Panthers lead the Red Tornadoes 13-12 after 24 minutes of play. We'll have the second half for you here in just a second, but for all the fun and excitement that we saw out on the field, fortunately for us, we have the one and only Jose Gonzalo that helps us put a little context around that. So Dan, can you work through those stats that Jose was able to get to us?
Yeah, so we'll look at the home team first for the Red Tornadoes. Rushing the ball, 17 carries for 124 yards, and then through the air, 4 of 11 for 45 yards. The majority of that 124 by Xavier Diaz on a couple big runs that he broke off, one being his touchdown run, and 7 first downs. So that's 169 yards of total offense for the Red Tornadoes. Looking at the Milton side of the ball, is pretty similar. 19 carries for 105 yards, 4 of 8 passing for 100 yards. So the majority of their offense been through the air, aided by a few big passing plays.
Yeah, the big one to Rarick on the first drive.
The big one to Rarick, and then the big one on the last drive before the half. That was probably their second longest passing play to Minium over the middle. So that puts them at 205 total yards of offense. So Milton leading on the scoreboard and leading in the stat column currently. So the Red Tornadoes were hoping to make some adjustments here in the halftime.
Yeah.
To kind of come out here and have an answer for this Black Panther team on both sides of the ball to start this second half.
And I think one thing, and we talked about it a little bit, was how the Red Tornadoes have thrown the ball. So coming into tonight, for instance, we talked about Spears. On the season, Spears is 31 of 40, right? So that's, I'm not a math major, but that's around 76, 77% completion rate.
Yeah.
And you said tonight the Red Tornadoes were 4 of 11.
4 of 11,
yeah,
yes.
So that hasn't been as efficient and as reliable. And, I think the big thing that from, years of watching football is sometimes you can use the pass to set up the run. And the play action passes and all the motion that the Red Tornadoes do isn't quite as effective if the threat of the pass isn't there.
Right, you're absolutely right, Jim. And on the other side of the coin, that sometimes you can use the run to set up the pass too. And outside of those couple big runs when Diaz was able to get space, the Red Tornadoes haven't been finding the kind of success that they're accustomed to having on the ground. So looking forward to this second half here, this first drive to start the second half with the Red Tornadoes receiving the kickoff is going to be big, and I think this drive is going to go a long way in deciding this game.
As you see, the Milton Black Panthers join the field. The Red Tornadoes will get the ball first, but right before we get kicked off here, I did promise you stats and scores. So from scores from around the area as well, Loyalsock over Danville 7-0 right now in the third quarter.
It's a good game.
Southern Columbia back on track, 48-0 over Lewisburg at the half. Hughesville up 14-6 on Warrior Run. We've got North Schuylkill over Tamaqua, 42-12 at the half. Montoursville 14-0 over Central. I think that's where we are from a local standpoint.
Yeah, I think that's as you mentioned there, there's a decent amount of close games going on here in the area, and no different here at the Silverbowl.
Yeah, certainly a lot of excitement here. We'll turn our attention back to the action on this field.
Yeah.
As number 2 Trace Witter gets ready to kick off again. As we said before, it's Verano. Well, this time it's Verano and Farinado back deep.
Yeah, it looks like Schultz is the shallow guy here. Schultz been having a big game so far, both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, has the touchdown reception.
Witter's kick will be fielded. It'll be bounced in front of Verano. Does a nice job catching between his knees. And now he's got some open space. He keeps going. The only guy that really was able to slow him down was Witter, the kicker, but it was enough for the rest of the cavalry to show up. Nevertheless, the Red Tornadoes will start their first drive of the second half in Panther territory at the 48-yard line.
Yeah, that was number 13, Isaiah Minium, that finished off that play. But you're right, Jim.
And part of the reason, Dan, maybe that Farinado was back deep with Verano as opposed to Diaz. We see Diaz on the sideline sitting with the trainer, so we'll keep an eye on that. Hopefully we can get him back out there as soon as possible. But for the time being, we've got Spears in the gun. Blessing to his left. The Red Tornadoes will get a little motion there early. And he'll pick up a free 5.
And Jim, you always talk about that. That's where you kind of want that free play. You want the flag thrown, but you want the opportunity to try and turn that play into more. You're going to get that easy 5 yards. But it seems like at the high school level, they like to stop that before the snap. You know, if Aaron Rodgers getting that easy deep throw to throw out.
This time it's Ferrano again. Nice tackle made by, it's that 86 Crawl. He's made a few nice plays for that Black Panther defense tonight, but that'll be a Red Tornado first down.
There's a flag. And this is not great for the Red Tornadoes as we see Spears being helped off the field after a personal foul by the Milton Black Panthers.
I'm not entirely sure if there was any other indicator there.
I think that's a helmet-to-helmet contact.
Yeah, that's
basically a targeting penalty there.
Well, what's tricky about that is, and I think we talked about this last week even, is that's also very similar to the illegal blindside block.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
it is.
Just kind of the two fists coming together.
Yeah, the unfortunate part is that Spears suffers is a little shaken up on that play. But the positive for the Red Tornadoes, they get a big 15-yard bump after the first down run by Verano.
So number 2, Matt Belichick in there for the time being at quarterback. He'll take the snap and give it to Blessing, who has really nowhere to go.
Yeah, Jim, that was loss again. First man on the scene there, number 51.
And after a quick view, a very clean bill of health Spears receives, and he's back out there for this play.
Yeah, it's good to see him get back out there on the field because that was a tough play there. Well behind the play was that flag thrown. Helmet-to-helmet contact, probably unnecessary.
And it's Blessing again, and he does a nice job and just tripped up again. Avoids a few arm tackles, falls forward down to the 13-yard line for another Mount Carmel first down.
Jim, I'm going to check the replay, but I think that was Rarick from the ground that was able to just get a shoelace there of Blessing and save that from turning into a touchdown run.
And you saw in the replay there, number 30, Liam Bradley out in front, helping to lead the charge on that rush. Spears will keep this one himself again behind Bradley. They'll get down inside the 10. Looks like they're going to mark it at about the 7. And this time we've got a Black Panther down on the field.
And that is Loss, who we just mentioned 2 plays ago there. Made a big play there in the first half as well. He's a big part of this defense, that defensive front for the Black Panthers. So hoping to see him get a clean bill of health.
Big kid too, 6 foot, 250. Certainly does a nice job clogging up the middle there. But again, we're here at the Silverbowl. It's a beautiful night. It's getting a little colder, which is what you want in the fall, I think.
Yeah.
We're starting to feel a little more like football weather. Certainly the Red Tornado contingent strong as ever. Not an empty seat in the house here on the Red Tornado side. Milton traveled well as well, which is always nice. But tonight's broadcast, WKMC TV, student-run studio here at the Mount Carmel Area School District. This particular game is sponsored by Tower Pizza up in Marion Heights. And we'll see Loss get up, and he'll leave the field somewhat gingerly, but no less under his own power, which is always great to see.
Yeah. But then again, you know, we see Lost leave the field, and the Red Tornado offense that has looked good so far on this drive come back out there looking to kind of continue the momentum that they've had so far and put some points on the board here to get this second half kicked off right.
So the ball rests at the 8-yard line. It's 2nd and 4. Can hear the Mount Carmel student section making some noise. It's Widener again up the middle. He should have a first down.
Yeah, he ran tough there. It's going to be very close to a first down. But he shook off the very first would-be tackler that it looked like a blitzing linebacker straight up the middle.
And that's, I'm looking to see if we'll get anything here on the monitor, because Dan, you talk about this a lot. Well, Red Tornadoes are going to get right up on the ball in 3rd and shorts. We won't see it. But those Black Panther linebackers are firing.
Yeah, and there seems like they're trying to time up the snap. Maybe Spears goes with a hard count and get an easy first down here.
And it's Blessing, and he's in for a touchdown. So with 9:10 left in the 3rd quarter, the Red Tornadoes, aided by a terrific kick return by Verano, will get on top for the first time tonight, 18-13. And Dan, I'll go for 2.
Yeah, you have to in this situation. It's you know, the difference between being up 5 or 7. You want to you don't want the Black Panthers to be able to take this game with a touchdown. You want to make them earn it.
So they go back to Blessing, who shrugs off 3-4 tacklers, and he's in. So a huge 2-point conversion. Blessing is going to take all 8 of those points himself, and it's 20-13 Red Tornadoes.
And that's huge there by Blessing, because there was really he had no business getting into the end zone on that play. And he did a great job just kind of working his way through. And you see the first guy to greet him when he gets to the sideline is Xavier Diaz. You know, he kind of channeled his inner Diaz there with a couple of the jump stops, making guys miss in the backfield to turn that into a quick 2-point conversion. Is Edwin Diaz coming out, Jim?
I was looking for him.
I like it, though. I like the. It's kind of you could feel the energy in the stadium kind of picking up. You got the music playing, you got the lead, your defense is ready to go, and you got who's it? Johnny Trumpets. Is that who it is?
So Yagodinsky, he'll come out. It's going to be Minium and Fisher back deep. Good high kick. This will be taken by Fisher. Nope, Minium. And the Red Tornadoes are going to do a good job of covering it again out to about the 29-yard line.
And Jim, again, the usual suspects in on that tackle, Schultz and Maddox Reed, along with Chase Belichick. Reed, coming from all the way from the other side of the field, did a really good job. They call that closing the gate. You see him decide to go to one side, so you take the right angle, and he did a good job. He got Minium for kind of from the back, while the other guys got him up front.
So it'll be a receiver split to both sides for Bastion. He brings Crawl in motion, and he's going to run it himself. And he gets through the initial wave of defenders, and he'll have a first down out across the 40-yard line.
And you see, Jim, I know the Red Tornadoes, they don't like giving up those plays, but at the same time, they do a good job of, it seems like just natural for these Red Tornado guys in the secondary. When a running back's held up, they start going for that ball. Bastion's really got to keep a tight hold on that, because guys are coming in. They're not, once somebody's around the runner's legs, they're not trying to tackle the runner. They're trying to tackle the ball.
Minium to the top of the screen, Reef to the bottom. Crawl in motion again. And it's Bastion again. Not as much success that time. All kinds of red jerseys. I think if Nestico could have drug him, I don't know, probably back to Atlas he would have.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jim. Nestico had a hold of a jersey. He got some help by the linebackers there coming in up the middle. And you're right. They gave Bastion a 2-yard a 2-yard gain there. Maybe a little less than 2, but it looked like by the time Nestico was done with him, he was about 4 yards in the backfield.
I was going to say back to the end zone, but I didn't think that was far enough.
No, definitely not.
So it's 2nd and 9. Bastion to throw. And they're going to throw a flag on the defense here. That's a tough one because that's about as good as you can cover using the sideline as a second defender.
That's a bad call. It's pretty simple there. I think they're gonna hit him with a defensive holding, but either way, there was just hand battling going on between the receiver and the corner, and that's just a bad call.
That's a tough one for Spears there. I think when you look at when Coach Dara looks at the film tomorrow, he'll say, hey, I wouldn't have wanted Cole to do anything differently.
No, yeah. I mean, looking at it in real time, I didn't want Cole to do anything differently there, Jim.
So now it's 4 wide for the Black Panthers as they're inside Red Tornado territory now. Bastion to throw again, and it's intercepted! Schultz makes an amazing catch, and he's down the sidelines. It's 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes. They're going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Wow, Schultz picked that out of the air.
And Jim, that pressure, the defensive front for the Red Tornadoes came out in this second half with one goal in mind, and it was to put Bastion under duress. They applied the pressure up front. It forced Bastion to get that ball out of his hands a little bit quicker than he wanted to. And Schultz was there, Johnny on the spot, to make that huge interception and completely flip this game. If the Red Tornadoes could put 6 on the board, this is a totally different ball game.
And Dan, you talked about it after the Red Tornadoes scored, but my goodness, it feels different in the Silverbowl right now than it did just 15 minutes ago.
Yes, it does.
Spears hands off to Farinado, who somehow just can't quite stay on his feet. It'll still gain 3 yards somehow.
Yeah, he tried everything to stay upright there. He saw the green grass in front of him. He made that move to the outside, but just couldn't stay upright. But you're right, a decent gain altogether.
And Rome brings up a 2nd and 9.
Spears and company look to the sideline. Blessing in motion, but Spears will keep it himself. He'll get down to the 25. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
And that was number 12, Trey Locke, who really wasn't thrown off by the action in the backfield. The motion, he didn't go anywhere. And it looks like he's playing a defensive end position there, a defensive tackle, just held his block and didn't really give Spears much room to go anywhere.
Bradley will come to the sideline as the Red Tornadoes want to open it up a little bit, but again, Bradley's at the point of attack on all those runs, and he's doing a really nice job of getting a hat on the first man through.
Yeah, he's out in front of pretty much everything at this point.
Blessing, it's a pump, and it's caught! Verano, he dives for the end zone! Touchdown! 25 yards from Spears to Verano, my goodness.
And what a play. The pump fake got the defensive back to bite, and it was such a well-designed play. Verano was so open, he bobbled it a little bit because he couldn't believe how open he was. But that little head fake from Spears sold it, and now the Red Tornadoes, never mind the effort by Verano at the end of the play to get the pylon, but now the Red Tornadoes are going to come out and go for 2 again. They're looking to continue to extend this lead.
It's going to be Verano's third receiving touchdown of the season already. We're only halfway through week 4. Now Spears is going to throw again, and he's looking. It's incomplete. Caught.
Wow.
No, excuse me. My goodness, Verano again. Oh, my goodness.
Jim,
Let's watch this replay. I don't know if the official on that side could have waited any longer. Wow.
And that throw down and away there from Spears, away from the defensive end that was working his way out. And you can hear this stadium just erupt when those two arms of the referee went up in the air to call that 2-point conversion. But this has just been an incredible second half, and we're only halfway into it, Jim.
My goodness. And if you're not sure how excited Dan was, go back and listen again. I'm pretty sure he ran out of breath getting excited over the Verano touchdown.
I'm still out of breath, Jim. This is one of those games that's going to take some years off of my life, I'll tell you that.
Well, we might be out of breath on this side, but I think the air's been sucked out of the Milton side as well in the first half of the third quarter here.
Yeah, now we'll see. That we talked about this Milton team. They've pretty much played with a lead or tied through the entire first half. So we'll see how they play from behind now. The first drive, they were put under a little pressure and Bastion through the interception.
Good kick.
So now we'll see what happens.
Jagodinski's kick will be taken by Minium at a standstill. And now he's in the open field. Jagodinski's got an angle. There's a flag.
Yes,
so Jagodinski's going to make the stop around the 41, but this one's going to come all the way back.
Way back. And you see Schultz consulting with the referee there saying, thank you. Thank you for making the right call here.
Yep, hold against the Black Panthers. Looks like the marker is around the 32-yard line, so they're going to go from the Red Tornado 42 back to their own 22 after this is walked off.
Yeah, and that's tough there because that was a big play. You heard the Milton sideline erupt as Minium got in the open field. It's not taking 6 points off the board, but it's going to take some very, very good field position off the board for the Black Panthers, and they're going to start deep in their own territory rather than in Red Tornado territory.
You see Coach Davis on the Milton sideline gathering the troops. Hey, reminding everybody, hey, we had the lead at the half. This is our game. We can play this. We can get stops. We just need to put a drive together.
Yeah.
.5:49 left in the third quarter. It's 28-13 Red Tornadoes. It's an option with Bastion. And he's going to get the edge. That was Fisher. He'll be driven out of bounds. Let's see where they mark it. Looks like at the 30, right at the 30, so it'll be gain of 8, 2nd and 2.
Yeah, and Jim, I mentioned earlier some halftime adjustments, and I have to watch the film because I may have just not noticed it in the first half. But you see now, anytime they send that float motion, that the defensive line is shifting to that side where the motion's going. So if they weren't doing that in the first half, that's an adjustment that Coach Dara made at halftime, and it seems to be paying off at this point.
No motion this time, just Bastion up the middle, and there's nowhere to go. It's going to bring up, get maybe a yard. It's going to bring up 3rd and a yard.
Yeah, third and short here. And again, everybody agreeing on that one.
Yeah, I agree with that one too.
Yeah.
I concur. They didn't ask me, but.
Oh, are we going to have a measurement here?
Not 2.
We are going to have a measurement here. See, now that's one of those situations where I'm a little confused because normally the measurement's right where the ball was spotted.
Right.
The ball had already been moved and spotted.
Right.
Now they're going to move it back and measure. So I don't know if you can really count this measurement.
Hey, guys, I thought we agreed on the spot.
Yeah, I don't think this is an official measurement.
Well, it's still
going to be 3rd down.
3rd and a couple inches just as expected.
And I'm wondering if the Milton sideline. Maybe Coach Davis had a little bit to do with that, asking for that measurement there.
This is a very high-tech and sophisticated game to kind of be operated by a couple of sticks with some links of chain in between them.
You're right about that, Jim. It is funny to think about that. That's all you're looking for.
We got digital play clocks and cameras in the end zone, and a couple guys with sticks.
Yeah, you gotta love the simplicity of it.
You're a romantic. All right, here we go. It's 3rd and an inch.
We're gonna see Bastion on a quarterback sneak here again.
Looks like it's going to be one of the few times that he's gone under center tonight, Dan, so you might be right.
Take that to the bank.
I mean, he's going to get the first down, but just barely.
He had to work for that one, Jim.
Looks like Chicatano and Reed in there.
And credit to Bastion for having the wherewithal and the vision to see that as he's over the ball, that you had 3 big boys pretty much lined up straight over the center, saying you're not coming right up the center's butt to get that first down. So he took a couple shuffle steps to his left and was able to feel his way through for a very short gain, but just enough.
Now 1st and 10, the ball sits at the 33. Bastion to keep it off the right side, and he's going to be upended by Reed and Yagodinsky.
Yeah, it's a good job of that linebacking core. They've toughened up here in this second half because the success that the Black Panthers were having running the ball up the middle in the first half has not been there in this first 7.5 minutes here that we've played.
So it'll be just a yard for that one, 2nd and 9. Now the Black Panthers open up a little bit again here. Reef and Minium to the wide side of the field. Bastion. He's going to keep it himself. And he's in the open field. Farinato's the only one that can catch him. He's going to try to get the angle. I don't think he's going to get there. And it's touchdown, Black Panthers. No flags on the field this time.
There was, but it was picked up. I believe that was going to be but I think it was going to be against the Red Tornadoes, Jim. I think the Red Tornado defense got an early start. And instead of calling the play and allowing the Black Panthers sideline to decline it, which was commonplace, he just picked it up.
66 yards from Bastion. And now the Black Panthers are an extra point away from making this a one-possession game again. Number 2, Trace Witter.
And now the flag is waved off all the way down here before the extra point. So maybe nobody jumped off sides. I'm still a little confused.
Witter's kick is blocked. Oh my goodness. Verano. Wow, off the edge, laid out. And makes it a 2-possession game.
And Jim, I saw that coming. You saw Coach Gilger, the special teams coach, pointing to Verano as they were lined up out there. He pointed at Verano. Verano pointed back at him and said, "Coach, I got you." And he went after it and got it. That was a humongous play.
Wow.
Verano's had a huge second half so far. Accounted for 8 points and was able to keep one off the board for the Black Panthers. So Verano just having a banner second half here, and we're not even through the third quarter.
And you go back and you work through this, Dan, and we talk about it as we always do, right? In games like this with points at a premium and every play matters. Verano coming through and blocking that kick is huge. It keeps it at 9.
Yep.
The other thing that keeps it at 9 is the failed fake field goal attempt on the Panthers' first fake extra point on the Panthers' opening touchdown as well.
Yeah, you're right, Jim. It's everything comes full circle in the end. Any chance at points is paramount. You need to get points if you have the opportunity to get them. And on the defensive side, you need to keep the other team from getting points. That's kind of how you win the game.
See what you
You see
Sounds
what
like
I
a
did there?
water boy explanation.
Right.
Witter's kick is short. It's going to bounce, and Farinata will fall on it. It took kind of a weird hop on him there. It'll be 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes at the 26.
Yeah,
27, excuse me.
Did a good job of trying to take that off the bounce, but it looks like, we talked about it being a little bit cooler out here tonight. It looks like the field's starting to get a little bit of that dew cover on it. So when that ball hits, it's not taking those hard bounces, those hard and true bounces that we're used to seeing, that we'd see on a turf field. This beautiful natural grass here we have at the Silverbowl.
See if the Red Tornadoes can capitalize on Verano's big play and stretch this lead a bit further. 3:53 left in the 3rd quarter. They lead 28-19. Spears up the middle, and immediately there's a flag.
Yeah, that's another procedure penalty against the Red Tornadoes. It looked like a couple of the Red Tornadoes were still trying to get the play in, checking their wristbands for the play, when Blessing started his motion there. So a little miscommunication in the backfield there. But again, this is not the Red Tornadoes offense has been spectacular here to start the second half. You don't want to be going in the wrong direction. And I think that's why Coach Dara brings Verano in, brings Bradley out. He's going to open things up.
Well, and I think to your, Dan, we talked about it before with Kelly on the sideline and Chicatano stepping into the offensive line. With Diaz on the sideline, you have Blessing taking a lot more snaps where he's put in motion more than he usually is, as we have another completion to Verano out back across the 30. So in the first 3 weeks, I don't, and that's what I was asking, I don't remember Blessing kind of being in motion, flowing away from the play as much as he is now. That's really a Diaz role.
Yeah, you're right, because normally we see Blessing taking the ball up the middle, as where Diaz gets those pitches on the outside. So they're not really biting on them. So I think we need to get a pitch out to Blessing to kind of open the Black Panther defense up a little bit.
There's Blessing up the middle. Does a great job, runs through tacklers for a Red Tornado 1st down. Out to the 41-yard line, a gain of 11.
Yeah, and this halftime really woke the Red Tornadoes up. And now these guys are out here lowering their shoulders. They're initiating contact. They're not getting hit. They're laying out some hits.
Now, this is kind of, Dan, what we've seen a little bit this season. You think back to week 1 at North Schuylkill when the Red Tornadoes found themselves in a real slugfest.
Yep.
Diaz had, 16 carries, or excuse me, Blessing had, 16 carries.
Yeah, Blessing was the workhorse in that game, and I think if they continue to run the ball, he's going to continue to be the workhorse.
There he goes in motion. Spears up the middle. He does a nice job falling forward. He'll pick up maybe 3 out to the 44.
Yeah, and Jim, just as we mentioned, Blessing being the workhorse, it looked like after that last run, he did come up a little bit hobbled. So I like Coach Dara recognizing that, sending him on just a fake flare route there and letting Spears run the ball, give Blessing basically a play off while still being out there on the field.
We hadn't talked about it yet, but on that last play, the tackle was made by 51 Nolan Loss. So he was, he made his way off the field before he was down for a minute, but it's great to see him back out there. Now it's Blessing, and he's dropped in the backfield, and that play was trouble from the start.
Yeah, and that was number 22 for the Black Panthers, Dylan Ando, coming from a linebacker spot. Kind of diagnosed that one early and got in the backfield, made the play from the backside.
Again, the Red Tornadoes seem like they're having a little bit of difficulty getting the play in and getting kind of set up here.
Yeah.
It was, very, very frantic there in the last few seconds of the play clock. Even still here, we're approaching 10 seconds and not quite set yet.
Yeah, I don't think they're in a hurry to get the plays in, but they also don't want to be rushing to get the snap off.
This time Zarski's in there for Blessing, and it's almost intercepted, if not for the effort by Verano to basically come back through the defender to make sure that the ball stays with the Red Tornadoes for at least one more snap.
Yeah, and realistically, Jim, we've seen some good punts out of Yagodinsky so far this year. So being Verano kind of being his defensive back there and knocking that ball away from being an interception, gives Yagodinsky a chance to completely flip the field.
So we'll see him for the first time tonight. It's a good snap, and it's a nice kick. It's to Minium. He's going to take it, and he's going to go right up the middle, making all kinds of Red Tornadoes miss. He'll get out to the 40, aided by a block made right at the point of contact, we'll say.
Yeah.
Here, watch the replay. You make your decision.
Yeah, what looked like a pretty clear, and we'll see it here, right there, looked like a pretty clear block in the back there. No call, but the Red Tornadoes did a good job rallying all around and kept Minium to a minimal return there. And we'll see. This is a big drive for the Black Panthers, and you see there's a huddle there on the sideline. They want to make sure they have their ducks in a row here before they take the field on offense.
.114 in the third. And this is Bastion. It's just a straight sweep. And they're going to attack on. It looks like he was brought down by his face mask there.
Yeah.
And I don't know that was Bastion, to be honest with you, Dan. It looks like, was that number 44?
I'm not sure, Jay. I didn't see.
I don't have a 44 on my roster, but number 8's not out there right now, and it did not look like number 8 had the football.
There is a 44 out there, and he is. I mean, Jim, that looks like Bastion. That looks like Bastion to me, Jim. And, is there a possibility Bastion on the last drive had his jersey ripped?
That's as good.
Because I don't see it. I don't see an 8 on the sideline either. Looking across the way here at Milton's sideline.
A big stick. Try to deliver the ball quickly to number. Trying to get a jersey. Was that
34.
Goodwin 34?
Yeah, and that was Belichick there.
Matt Belichick.
Matt Belichick with a huge stick. He had that one read pretty well. They tried to get that ball out of the quarterback's hands pretty quickly.
I was going to say, if number 44 isn't Bastion, I'll apologize in advance, but I think you're right, Dan. I'm looking at the sideline. I think we're going to keep operating under the assumption that that's him.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And they're going to take a timeout. Black Panthers will take a timeout. 45.6 seconds left in the third quarter. 28-19, Red Tornadoes.
Now, Jim, I know we like to get technical here, so I'm just trying to take a look. I saw Bastion, or whoever the quarterback is, right next to Ashton Krall, number 86. And he was a little bit shorter than Ashton Krall. So Bastion sitting at 6 foot, 200 pounds. Krall about 6'4". So with cleats and a helmet on, it looks like that size difference is about right. So, like you said, I think we can pretty definitively say that that's Bastion. It's just with a new jersey on, because that jersey does look very clean. That number 44 jersey looks fresh.
And actually, speaking of, we want to give a thank you to the Milton School District. We had reached out this week for a roster, and they were kind enough to provide one. So I'd imagine the one they gave us is probably pretty good.
Yeah.
So if there's not a 44 on that one, it's more than likely that you're right, Dan. It's an extra jersey that Bastion has now. But it's 2nd and 10. Bastion to throw again. He's going to roll, and he's going to leave it for Minium, and it's incomplete. Good coverage there by number 1, Chase Belichick. We'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, and the Belichick's all over the field here on this drive defensively.
There's got to be more than 2 of them, right?
Yeah, it seems that way, but you're seeing 1 and 2 making big plays. Like you said, Chase in the coverage and Matt with the stick on the last play, on the first down play. And this brings up a 3rd and 10. And this is, Jim, this is strange. Normally in a passing down, I would expect to see Minium on the field, and we just saw Minium check out. So keep an eye on number 11 here, manned up with Farinato.
Bastion's going to run it himself. He's going to try to get the edge. There's a lot of red jerseys there. He does a nice job cutting upfield, and it's going to make it 4th and manageable. You're 4th and about 4.
Yeah, you're right. He did a really good job. I was kind of trying to pay attention to the defensive back play over here, and it didn't matter because Bastion just kept it himself. And you're right, got him into a much more manageable position.
Now the Black Panthers, with the clock running, don't have to run a play here before the quarter ends, and it doesn't look like they will. They'll be content to let the clock run out. So we've played 3 full quarters here at the Silverbowl. And in this Heartland Athletic Conference Division III contest, the Red Tornadoes lead the Milton Black Panthers 28-19. And when we come back with the 4th quarter, the Panthers are going to be facing a critical 4th and 4.
Yeah, and especially to start the 4th quarter here, Jim, because we've seen the Red Tornadoes have some grinded out drives, play the clock, let the play clock wind down, take your time getting the plays in. So this is the could be the game here. I think if Milton does not get this first down and they turn the ball over on downs to the Red Tornadoes, I think that will spell the end of this this attempted upset by the Black Panthers. And they gave it a valiant effort.
I think if they don't pick up this first down, the top is going to blow off this place.
Yeah, yeah, I'd say so. You see people already I saw some people stretching down there getting ready to jump out of their seats.
Minium back out there. Bastion rolls out, he's gonna throw, and he's looking, and he comes up short, looking for Minium. It's gonna be 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes going the other way.
Yeah, and that was a huge play defensively by the Red Tornadoes. And realistically, it was just, it looked like a well-designed play, but Bastion just underthrew him.
Well, and it's tough there. You saw in the replay, again, these quarterbacks, they have strong arms so they can kind of get away with it.
Yeah.
But he's rolling to his left. He's not able to set his feet. He's thrown across his body a little bit.
Yeah.
And the Red Tornadoes have enough bodies in there that he's got to get it over the line,
Yep.
kind of drop it in, and it just skipped in front of Minium.
Yeah, but now we'll see this Red Tornado offense come back out for what realistically is a put-away drive.
Oh, the ball is snapped over the heads. Oh my goodness, the Red Tornadoes are fortunate enough to get on top of the football, but it's going to be all the way back at the 29 for a loss of 14.
Yeah, and that was a tough one there for the Big Red.
Looks like Blessing went one way, Spears went the other, and the ball went a third.
Yeah. Not sure if that was a miscommunication or just a miscue all around, but that's going to put the Red Tornadoes well behind the sticks here.
And sometimes you do something that you lose 10 or 12 yards on first down, whether it's a hold or some other penalty, but it's usually still first down, and they're going to cost the Red Tornadoes. No, Coach Dara's on his way out there. It must have been a timeout, and that's what it was. Timeout, Red Tornadoes. The timing on that one, I thought it was going to be another illegal procedure penalty against the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, so did I.
So I was somewhat relieved to see Coach Dara walking out there.
Yeah, we are. I think this is a good decision by Coach Dara taking this timeout after the little miscue on first down. Puts you in kind of a not the most ideal position here with a long way to go just for a first down.
And that's kind of the point I was making before the call there, the timeout was. You find yourself that far behind the sticks, often it's still first down at least.
Right, yeah.
So that you lose the yards and the down. Kind of complicates your ability.
For sure. Yeah, now you've got 2 downs. I mean, you're in the position of the field where you would punt it. So you've really got 2 downs to get these 23 yards back.
It's Schultz and Verano to the top of the screen. Farinato by himself to the bottom. Blessing goes in motion. The Red Tornadoes have a screen set up for Verano, and now he's in the open field, and he's going to be tackled just short of midfield. He'll get everything back and more, but it's going to bring up 3rd and about 6.
Yeah, and that tackle there, I think that was Verdinelli, by the Black Panthers, did a really good job of getting a hold of Verano. Verano's not the easiest guy to tackle in space.
No, he's not.
And Verdinelli's not a very small guy. So he did a good job breaking down and getting a hold of Verano and not letting him go.
It's Widener, and Widener's going to have the first down. Great play call by the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah. And Jim, I really think that the Red Tornadoes, they're offensively, they're really starting to feel themselves. And Coach Dara, I think, is starting to find the recipe. He's seeing the openings. He's making the right play calls here in the second half. And the Red Tornadoes are having a lot of success.
And let's talk about, that's one play in particular, and we can probably cite a dozen more. I saw both Nestico and Shimko at the end of the play getting up off their guy.
Yeah.
Off the beautiful green grass here.
Yeah.
So that line is certainly starting to make their mark on this game, and it's Verano again. He'll get close to the 40. And they'll say the 41 for a gain of 3.
He did a good job kind of fighting through 2 tacklers there, but unfortunately he ran into one of his own blockers there, which kind of spelled the end of that run. But Verano's been really, really good here in the second half. He has been solid all around, making big plays right when they need them.
Red Tornadoes check their wristbands in unison. Zarski goes in motion that time, but Spears will keep it himself. Going to get down to about the 36. It's going to bring up 3rd and short.
And you see Zarski in there. We haven't seen much of Zarski tonight. Like you said, once Diaz went out, they sort of were using Blessing as the workhorse, and finally able to get Blessing a breather on the sideline, got Zarski in there. And Zarski has speed, Jim, so on a 3rd and short here, I could see them trying to get Zarski on the edge.
Well, yeah, and I think that's the deal, right? Zarski's more the skill set of Diaz, more comfortable being swung out to the edges in the way that they've used him a little bit here already tonight. But that's going to be Widener again, and he'll have another first down.
And that was all he needed. And as this drive continues and the Red Tornadoes continue to move the ball, time continues to tick off the clock. And the hourglass, the beads of sand in the hourglass continue to fall away from the Black Panthers.
Sometimes it's nice to just let the game breathe a little bit, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, hear the band playing, the roar of the crowd.
It's Farinato, and he's got to get deep, and he does a nice job. And now he's in the open field. My goodness, what a run by Farinato. 33 yards out. He gave you a little bit of the old razzle-dazzle. And it's 34-19 Red Tornadoes with 7:56 left in the 4th quarter.
Wow. That was a great run there by Farinato, Jim. I'm sorry I had to pick my jaw up off the ground to respond here, but you're right. Farinato had to get about 7 or 8 yards deep into the backfield to evade the first Black Panther defender, and then just found his way through, felt his way through the defensive backfield, made a really nice play, got a guy turned around, and got in for 6 untouched.
Jagodinski's kick is up and good, and it's 35-19, a full 16 points. The Red Tornadoes are up with less than 8 minutes to go. And Dan, you're right there. It was so cool to watch that with Farinato, because once he had to get deeper, and once he got the corner, the Red Tornadoes had the inside sealed, the outside sealed, and honestly looked like he was shot out of a cannon.
Yeah.
He took off, and everybody else was standing still. And then he used his downfield block to spin Minium around and was able to get in for 6.
Yeah, he had that lane, and that's the one thing with these Red Tornado backs. Once they have that lane, good luck stopping them. They see that opening, and it's very, very difficult for them to be stopped once they get to that opening.
while we wait here and get set up some other scores from around the area. Danville is now on top of Loyalsock, 17-14 in the fourth quarter. Hughesville is pulled away from Warrior Run. They're up 28-6. Southern is holding strong at 48-0 over Lewisburg late in the fourth quarter. And North Schuylkill has Tamaqua doubled up 49-24. Dan, did you see a Shamokin score anywhere?
Jim, I was just thinking about that. We haven't gotten a Shamokin score yet. I was going to ask you if there was one on there, but I'll have to keep an eye out for it.
Yagodinsky's kick is taken about the 20. It's brought up and out of bounds.
Yeah, it looked like,
I'm going to say right at the 35.
Looked like Yagodinsky took a little bit off of that kickoff, and understandably so. Minium's had a few nice returns so far, so you want to try and keep the ball away from him if possible.
So again, the Red Tornadoes, that defense looking much like it's looked most of the night. And again, I don't know, we've talked about it a few times over the course of the season, but I don't know if we referenced it tonight. But with Diaz out, what happens often, whether it's Diaz or Spears, is Farinata moves to one of the corner slots, and Chase Belichick, when he goes in, he plays that other safety spot opposite Verano. But this time it's going to be Bastian keeping him himself, and he's going to be hit first by Farinata, who does a nice job staying upright, and he'll get out across the 40 to the 42 for a gain of about 7.
Yeah, it looked like he bounced off the first one and then got a little bit of help there from his offensive line, moving him forward there. That was number 59 on the offensive line, Ethan Minium.
So we'll see 2nd and 2 here.
And the Panthers got to hurry up onto the ball here as the play clock's winding down.
Don't know that they were set there, so wait and see the flag. Although, actually, you know what? Forget the flag. That's fine. The result of the play, I think, will work just fine for the Red Tornadoes as Bastian lost his footing, and it'll wind up being a sack all the way back to the original line of scrimmage to bring up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, that's a tough one there for the Panthers. You're right. There was probably going to be a 5-yard penalty. It looked like the ref had reached into his pocket, but then when he saw Bastian go down, he pulled his hand back out without a yellow flag in there.
And Dan, you made the point before about, I think you were referencing the play clock directly, but again, at some point here, maybe not quite yet, but the Panthers' biggest enemy starts becoming the clock.
Yeah, you are right.
Now Bastian's going to throw, and he's going to throw it as far as he can for Minium, and he overthrows him. So it's going to bring up 4th down. We'll see what happens here again. 4th and 10. I don't know that you're going to punt. Well, maybe you're going to punt. That's a pretty strong wholesale change. I mean, it's a tough spot to be in if you're Coach Davis.
Yeah, but okay, and you see Minium having to make the long run back.
Right.
I was wondering. I was like, it looks like a punt team, but where's Minium? He had to make his way back from running after that throw from Bastian.
It's a good snap. Minium rolls out, and he's going to punt it away. And the Red Tornadoes would do well to just get out of the way at this point, and that's what they'll do. The ball will be down to the 27-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes from there. They lead 35-19 with just over 6 minutes left in this one.
And
I think one thing that we always want to talk about, right, when we're here at the Silverbowl, it's a beautiful night, it's a beautiful facility. Nowhere maybe is it more beautiful than in Tornado Alley, right? We have the Tornado Legacy Brick Project that we talk about a lot, and it's the 6-foot, it's that big, beautiful water jet tornado. It's surrounded by the bricks. Oh, you can see it right there, right? So you've got the big bricks in the middle, you've got the red ones on the outside, and if you want to know, hey, how do I get one of those? Well, a couple cool ways. Number one, we've got a QR code right on the screen. Scan that. That'll take you out to the website. You can get 2 different size bricks. You see the big ones in there. I've got one up in the top corner. We've got the red ones as well. You can get those engraved, Go Big Red, your family name and memorial, whatever you want to do. You can be a part of, history here, right? This is a historical place. You can do that. And the really cool thing, at least what I think is super cool about it, is that when you make that donation, that purchase, it's really got 2 purposes. Number one, you get the brick, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You get to have your name here.
For sure.
Number 2, is it also, the proceeds go to the general upkeep of the stadium. It keeps everything beautiful. So the only catch, and I'm glad they're keeping the QR code up, is because we got a limited time offer here, right? We've got the next brick order is going in on 10/1. You only got about 2 weeks to get this squared away as Verano's around the corner. First down, Red Tornadoes, but you only have 2 weeks. October 1st, if you don't get your order in by October 1st, you got to wait until May. So this is a beautiful shot. Again, WKMC TV does everything. They do it well. But take a look at these bricks. You can get one. Click the QR code. If you don't have the ability to kind of scan the QR code, you can head out to redtornadofootball.com. There's all kind of instructions there on how to do that, but it's certainly a super cool way for you to be a part of the action here, even if you can't physically be here. We know a lot of you are watching from all over the country, so you can certainly support the hometown that's always supported you, and certainly down here at the Silverbowl. So we'll keep that QR code up as long as we can. As we see Spears, now he's in the open field, and I'm just going to keep talking about the bricks because that's how we get into the end zone here. It's 41-19. Spears is good from 57 yards out.
Yeah, Jim, and that was a huge run there by Spears. You're right. It was one move by Spears. He made one little cut, and then he had the sideline, and nobody was going to catch him. We talk about the throwing ability, the prowess that Spears has passing the ball. We haven't really had a chance this year so far. I mean, we've seen the running capabilities of Spears, but we haven't had the ability to really see him get in the open field. The speed that he has, it's impressive.
Again, he ran right into that south end zone. We're talking about the south end zone, which is where the Tornado Alley Brick Project is located.
Yeah.
Couldn't be any better. So thanks Cole. Thanks for that direction there. And again, you see the beautiful kind of the view here. You're enjoying the game tonight. Again, the Red Tornadoes up 41-19 now with the PAT pending. Another way you can go ahead and contribute to all this that goes on is you can certainly support the Mount Carmel Area Education Foundation. And again, you can do bequeaths, trusts, whatever. However you choose to donate those gifts, you can, even better yet, you can make them more specific. If you want to donate to the football team, to the cheerleaders, the band, the TV studio, wink, wink, right? Whatever you're feeling, and if you want to do that, you can head out to the school's website, www.mca.k12.pa.us. Whew. Been an exciting couple minutes here, Dan.
Jim, it's been an exciting second half here if you're a Red Tornado fan. I'll tell you that right now.
My goodness. Jagodinski's kick is up, and oh my goodness, did he kick that to Boyers? It's no good, but whew, that young man has a leg.
Yeah, fortunately a little wide here, but you're right. I think that thing almost got over the back gate there.
Well, we talked about it a little bit before the game. We were watching Jagodinski kick in early time, and he was good from 45 at one point, right?
Yeah. He has plenty of leg. That's for sure. And we'll get to see it on display here again on this kickoff, and we'll see. Yeah, we talked about the 4 touchbacks that Jagodinski had last week against Warrior Run, and I wanted to mention Jose brought it to our attention that in the modern era, at least, he doesn't have any stats on any games where there's been that many touchbacks. So that's pretty impressive by Jagodinski.
Let me tell you, if Jose doesn't have the stat, it doesn't exist.
You're right about that. And just a little update here. Thank you to the people out there listening. Shamokin tied 7-7. I'm not sure who they're playing, but 2 updates here from 2 separate sources say that Shamokin's tied 7-7 in overtime.
Oh my goodness. Jagodinski's kick. That's taken by number 29, Lucas Diddy. He'll get out to the 29. And the other update I got from a good friend, Scott Walker, let me know that Danville went final with Loyalsock, 17-14 victory for Danville.
And Jim, we talked about Loyalsock last week knocking off Southern Columbia, and now they go to Danville. We've talked about how tough that Danville team is, and this is Coach Brennan over there thinks that this is their year, and he's proven so, starting off 4-0. But yeah, Shamokin is in a tie game, first overtime, 7-7 with Selinsgrove.
Okay.
So that's a tough game there for the Indians.
Bastian's going to run it himself, and Schultz will make sure he doesn't get any further than the line of scrimmage. Nice play there by 15. But yeah, Dan, you know, we were talking about the Danville game. I think the biggest surprise, as you see the student body here.
The Congo line on its way out.
Right. That's amazing.
That is amazing, Jim.
Friday night vibes don't get much better. But with Danville, the big thing tonight, Dan, is they gave up some points.
Yeah.
I mean, it was only 14, but they went through the first 3 weeks. They didn't give up a single score.
Yeah, that was impressive in its own right. But not as impressive as this Congo line that we had going out of here, the student section.
Looks like that was 32 Monty Fisher. Across the 35, will get out to the 37. Will be about a yard short of a first down. Again, 41-19 here at the Silverbowl. Right at 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. The Red Tornadoes trailed 13-12 at the half, but have really gone on a tear, 29-6 in the second half.
Yeah, it's been a very impressive showing from the Red Tornadoes in the second half, and that's the development of this team, making those halftime adjustments and coming out and looking like an entirely different team on both sides of the ball.
First down there for Bastion. So the clock will stop at 3:35 as they set the ball, and the official puts it back in play. The Red Tornadoes again staying strong out there, as we talked about. Chicatano wearing that number 66. That is that number that means so much to his family tonight. Doing a terrific job filling in at tackle offensively and holding up on the defensive line as usual, along with Geary and Nestico. We've had Shimko in there tonight defensively. Bastion's going to throw it as far as he can, but he won't be able to get his feet set. He's going to throw it while in the grasp. They'll say that he got it across the line of scrimmage, so no need for intentional grounding. It'll just be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and as you're talking about him, that was Chicatano that had a hold of Bastion, pulling him to the ground as Bastion was just able to get that ball out and save a sack and stop the clock. But I think we're beyond that point here. And just want to mention briefly, you mentioned Geary back out there. We saw Geary leave early on in the game, and I don't think we got a chance to mention that he's back out there playing at full speed here, so it's good to see him healthy as well.
Bastion hands it off to Fisher. He's going to cut back into the teeth of that Red Tornado defense. They do a good job stopping him up as he crosses the 45.
Yeah, I think that was Belichick, Matthew Belichick, number 2, playing that defensive end spot, doing a really good job of kind of turning that one back inside and being the first man on the scene to put a hit.
And you can hear, I'm sure, no doubt on the broadcast, you can hear the crowd, the cheerleaders. I mean, the Red Tornadoes are now up, 20, what's the math here? 22 points, Dan, with less than 2.5 left. And with the exception of the Congo line,
yeah,
there's nobody really moving towards the gate. It's going to be Bastion again. Nice play by Schultz there. He won't get credit for the tackle, but he held up his end and forced Bastion back inside.
Yeah, I think Verano was the one that actually is going to get credit for the tackle there. Did a good job coming, again, from his safety spot and hitting Bastion early. But Bastion kind of spun off and was able to lunge forward to turn that into a decent little gain and get them to a 4th and very manageable here, 4th and short.
Bastion, you got to see where he is. He went into the pile. The far official probably has a better view. It looks like it's going to be a first down.
Yeah, it is going to be a first down.
And Dan, you made the point about Verano. One thing that I think is worth mentioning with Verano and Farinato, too, to their credit, for as much time as those guys spend up near the line of scrimmage with their nose kind of in the nonsense, trying to make plays in run support, they don't really get beat deep.
No, they don't.
Which speaks to, I think, their instincts, and they're able to identify and recognize the play.
Most definitely. They are basically the linebackers of the defensive backfield, and they do a great job just kind of reading their keys, reading pass, and getting on their players. getting on their coverage assignments.
Bastion's pass falls incomplete there. The clock will stop at 1:07 left. 2nd and 10, the ball just inside the 50 at the 47.
Yeah, and that's a very a very good observation there, Jim.
The ball spot
Yeah.
is actually wrong. It's the 48. So.
You know, I like to keep you on your toes.
Fisher again, and Chickatano's going to take him down, but with one hand in a jersey. Now, Dan, please, we've got a minute left here. You know what story you want to tell me? Chickatano grabbed the jersey and yanked the guy down by it. What's the only story? What's the only hand strength story you ever tell me?
Oh, Tony Chickatano. You know, he's probably in there doing the monkey bars across the pull-up bar in the weight room, working on that hand strength. And of course, Chickatano.
I can't believe I got there faster than you did.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even think about it. But I tell that story every time we see a play like that happen.
3rd and 11.
Chickatano again there, and Bailey, it looked like, you know, on the tackle.
That was Fisher again. Those guys are just eating here at the end. Now the Panthers don't have to snap it again. It doesn't look like they will. They're going to head to their sideline. The Red Tornadoes are going to head to theirs. And we're going to call it a night here at the Silverbowl. The Red Tornadoes are going to come out victorious, 41-19 over the visiting Milton Black Panthers.
Yeah, Jim, that was after a pretty stressful first half. The Red Tornadoes came out and did a really, really good job of just doing what they do best. They grinded it out, and they took off in the second half.
Yeah, we see Jose's compiling stats, so we'll see if we can get them. But while we wait for the exact stats, we can kind of talk through a little scoring summary tonight that we had, right?
Yeah.
So the Black Panthers got things started. Bastion the quarterback had a 5-yard touchdown rush. They go up 6-0. They've tried the fake extra point, don't get it, so it stays at 6-0. Mount Carmel answered right away. Diaz at a 45-yard rush. They missed the extra point, so it stayed 6-6. Followed it up with a run by Mason Rao, 23 yards, make it 13-6 at that point. And then there's a lot of Red Tornadoes after that, guys. It was Spears to Schultz from 14 yards to make it 13-12. Blessing was good from 4 yards out. That made it 20-13. And then Spears had the pitch and catch to Verano of 25 yards, where Verano dove for the pylon down here in the north end zone. Made it 28-13, and the Red Tornadoes started to feel like they were pulling away a little bit. But nevertheless, the Black Panthers wouldn't go away so easily. Bastion answered with a 67-yard touchdown rush on the QB keeper. But then the Red Tornadoes just proved a little too strong. Farinata was good from a 33-yard rush, make it 35-19. And then Spears really put the icing on the cake, 57 yards to give us our final score of 41-19.
Yeah, and Jim, the Red Tornadoes come out victorious and deal the Black Panthers their first loss of the season. You know, they started out this season like a house on fire, 3-0, and the Red Tornadoes now improving to 4-0. It's a battle of the undefeateds tonight. And while we're waiting here to hear from Jose, I just got one final update from that Shamokin game. We always love overtime thrillers.
Yeah.
Selinsgrove kicked a field goal in the first overtime, and Shamokin missed the field goal.
Oh.
So Selinsgrove takes down Shamokin 10-7 in overtime. And right on cue, I've got the stats from Jose here. So
it's like he knows.
I think he does. So looking at the Red Tornadoes totals for the game, 37 rushes for 260 yards.
Woo.
Spears, 10 of 15 passing for 97 yards.
How many completed passes?
10.
So that's now 4 games in a row.
Yes, it is.
That the Red Tornadoes have completed at least 10 passes.
Yes, it is. And that's 17 first downs. And then we've got Milton, 32 rushes for 216 yards, 3 of 13 passes for 81 yards for a 12 first downs here. So that's a good second half there for on both sides of the ball. But the Red Tornadoes, again, we talked about it, just proved to be too much in the end.
So next week we'll be back. Milton will be at Holy Redeemer. The Red Tornadoes will also be on the road. We'll be just over the river here in Bloomsburg to face the Panthers again.
Yeah.
Right, so back-to-back Panther week there we've got. But I think that's probably a good place to wrap it up for us. Again, tonight's broadcast was sponsored by Tower Pizza. So we want to thank them for that. But again, I'm Jim Lesko.
And I'm Dan Lesko.
And for Jose Gonzalo, this has been a WKMC TV broadcast. You just witnessed the Red Tornadoes beat the Panthers to go 4-0 on the season, the 882nd victory in this long storied franchise here. So we had a blast. I hope you did too. And we will see you next week in Bloomsburg. Good night.